Welcome back, everyone. I am José Cavalheri, ITQ consultant, and I have here my colleague Thomas Bernard.
Hi, José.
Thanks very much for watching the VCF series from ITQ. And here we would like to talk a little bit more about monitoring VCF. Thomas, can you tell me a little bit more how do we monitor in this infrastructure?
Yeah, sure, with pleasure, José. So, as you mentioned, we have a whole Cloud Foundation environment, and we need to monitor it to keep track of what's happening and how make sure that it's still in a good health. And for that, we will use one of the vRealize product, which is called vRealize Operations, or VROPS, which is a dedicated product for monitoring, for reporting and control.
All right.
So,
and can you tell me a little bit more about the visibility that VROPS can bring to us?
well, before visibility, I will talk about how to deploy it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
it's so easy that I forgot.
Yeah, it's not the best part of it, but it's, as you said, it's quite simple. And like for VRA or for Workspace ONE access, it will be deployed using LCM, and it will be fully automated. So we will get a VROPS cluster that will run also on the management domain, and it will be deployed on the cross-region segment, and it will have its own load balancer.
All right,
That
and the
will
load balancer is the same integration with SDDC that we talked about.
LCM will talk to SDDC, SDDC will request to SIX manager the load balancing, configure the rules, and make sure that the VIP from VROPS is available and is correctly monitored.
All right, so I will do the same question. So even I can do the deploy of VROPS now.
Yeah, if you have access to SDDC manager. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And Thomas, can you tell me a little bit more what the visibility that VROPS can bring us?
Yeah, sure. So VROPS has a set of different dashboards that can help you monitor your environment. One is about health. It's important to understand and to see how the different components are, what are the behavior of the components and if they are in good or bad health. So quickly with VROPS, you can see if your vCenter, your edges, the hardware itself has any issue, and you can take actions.
Mm-hmm. And can VROPS also help us to not only monitor in this piece, but also help us with the capacity or something about it?
As it's a private cloud and you have self-servicing, it's important to monitor the capacity that is being used and what remains available for your users and for your applications. So same, you will have nice dashboard that can help you monitor the different resources and also create what-if scenario. If you know that you will have to deploy a large application in a few months, what will be the impact on your workload domain, and if you need to add more nodes or if you need to add specific resources to support it.
And as you mentioned that we are integrating VCF and vRealize automation and making more easy for our end customer, right? Do you have something that can manage some cost for us?
Yeah, what is important now for a C-level manager, and what is important when you are deploying a cloud, could be private or public, is to manage cost, because now everyone that has a user portal wants to know how much does it cost to deploy an app. Or if I am an infrastructure manager, I want to know what is the cost of running my whole environment. Mm-hmm. And with VROPS, you can monitor each component and put a cost on it based on your true, I would say, a cost to run, because you will be able to fix yourself what is the price of a CPU, of a memory, a disk, or any components.
And do you have something else also that VROPS can help us with visibility there?
Yeah, the last part is around the fact is you have predefined dashboard. There is a lot of them and it's quite easy to use. But if you have specific requirements and you want to build your own dashboard, it's also possible. You have widgets that you can use to build them. You have APIs that you can use to script, and you can build different dashboards that will apply to your specific needs.
Very nice. So it means I can customize what I would like to see.
Indeed.
Okay, nice. Thomas, how can we keep control of all this?
Well, first you can have reporting. Reports will be run on demand or on a scheduled basis, and you can define what kind of reports you need to monitor. For example, how many VMs have not been used for a long time, what are the top VMs that use most of resources, what are the security rules that are applied on a specific segment, that kind of things.
Okay, all right. And in that case for control, I always remember about compliance checks.
Yeah, compliancy is something that is now really important for many customers because they are working on the health care business or into the financial business, and they need to be compliant to specific rules. With Cloud Foundation and with VROPS, you can apply those rules, those compliancy, and ask for a checks that can be run every day, every week, every month, and you will have a nice report that helps you track the flow, what is compliant, what is not compliant, and how to fix it.
Okay.
So you can remain compliant not only on day 0, but also on day 2.
So are you saying that we have like some policies, rules that can allow us to do checks in the time that we would like to?
Of course, because if you have to do everything manually, when you're deploying new VMs, new components, it will be a hurdle. It won't be very easy. So that's why with VROPS, you can define policies based on tag, based on different settings that will help you incorporate automatically new components in the different dashboard or different reports to make sure that you don't forget them on the long term.
Okay. And Thomas, very good question that some of my customers ask me. Is this only reactive problems?
Well, reactive is the most common part, but now with VROPS you can also have proactive actions based on events. So it's event driven. It can gather a lot of information from logs, from real-time monitoring, and depending on automatic rules that you have defined, you can apply actions on a specific event. So you can fix it automatically and avoid a disruption. It could be moving VMs from one host to another, could be adding more resources to a specific VM or application if you are attaining a specific threshold, or if you know that you are on the beginning of the month and you have an application that requires a lot more of resources at that time, you can move it to a dedicated host to avoid polluting the rest of your environment.
Right, nice, nice. So it's also event driven then. Okay, and VROPS can only monitor the VCF infrastructure, or can we expand to it?
No, VROPS can monitor, of course, all the components of Cloud Foundation. You can expand it using integration, and you can also use products like vReali to gather even more information based on the logs. So it's a nice addition to the control part of vReali's operations.
Right. So thank you very much for introducing as well vReali's logging site, which is to close the gap that we have for logging, right? So in that case, very important part of architecture, vReali's logging site is very easy deployed together with SDDC Manager. The only difference is that vReali's logging site comes into the region A. So each region in architecture scenario will have his own logging site. Okay,
so if you have multiple regions, multiple vReali, and they don't communicate to each other.
Yes, so indeed. So every region will have his own logging site to do a log collection to avoid traffic on the network.
Okay.
So as you can see, the vReali's logging site is our central repository for logs. Okay. So as more we can collect, more view on the environment we will have. Okay. So logging site is a VMware product for log collection. Right. Can collect all the logs from VCF infrastructure, but also can expand to infrastructure scenarios like your routers or your switches, okay? But most important, you also can expand to your application level. So in that case, if your application is possible to have a log forwarding to a central logging, you have a full picture, not only from infrastructure level, but also from application level.
So as I mentioned, compliancy with vReali's operations, I can assume that vReali will help on the auditing part because you can gather logs from many
Very
components.
good. So when we have logging site integrated with VROps, we don't have only the log collection, but we also have root cause analysis that will support us together with VROps, and of course, auditing, right? So it's very important for auditing because there is no way you can change logs anymore from what
Okay.
happened. So in that case, vRealize Log Insight brings to us a central, easy log repository, very easy to deploy in each region, and also it's possible to have integration with VROps for root cause analysis and better auditing.
So it will, of course, reduce the time to troubleshoot if we can find root cause analysis quicker.
Correct. So when you have an issue in your environment, VROps will point to that issue and automatically will link to the specific log that's generated, let's say, a week ago, what happened there that caused the issue for you. So root cause analysis, very simple integration with VROps and Log Insight.
Okay, quite powerful.
If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact us. We are ITQ, we are one.
Did you like this video? Please subscribe to our channel because we have a lot more where this came from and you'll be the first to hear when a new video is released.